Yeah, just phenomenal. The shout-outs took a while in the locker room because there's a bunch of guys making plays today. I thought it was just credit to our guys, just the relentless effort, the finish, the way they're playing together. Those sacks, there's coverage associated with that, the way our guys are covering on the back end. And guys just took advantage of opportunities. It was really cool to see.
How many guys got game balls?
I don't know. I'll have to tally them up later because, it was a healthy list. Yeah, it was a big part of our whole entire week starting on Wednesday. Last opportunity at the Dome for this year. Let's finish it off the right way. This has been an awesome place. We're building something really special. When we play in this Dome, special things can happen. And, I think we've allowed, the last couple wins to really get the crowd into it, which I think has helped and, build from there. Yeah, I think it's just the focus, the habits guys are creating. I think, we're just simply playing better football. All three phases. We've talked about complementary football. All three phases working together, playing off each other, feeding off each other's big moments. And, again, I love the energy that's in that locker room right now. Yeah, I thought it was great. Taysom stepped up and contributed in a really positive way. I mean, that was just a really special game by Taysom. All the things that he was asked to do in this game was just it was incredible for him to become the first guy in NFL Super Bowl era. He's got 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving, 1,000 passing. First guy in the Super Bowl era to do that. I mean, it's a really special thing. It's he's just a special guy. And then the young guys hopped in there, and when their opportunities presented themselves, I thought we're still able to get a few runs in there. It wasn't always pretty. It was dirty. And then the pass game, obviously, we were able to create some explosives as a result of that.
Were you guys trying to get him that touchdown after that?
The opportunities were certainly going his way towards the end of the game, yes.
To have one like this, that's not close in the last couple of minutes, what did this one mean, do you think, for the team and for just the level of confidence in that locker?
Yeah, I think it's just the confidence is growing. We're creating habits. We're creating meaningful December football. We want to play that, moving forward. And so we're starting those habits right now. Again, like we've said, winning is contagious. You want to create those winning habits. Starts every opportunity you have. And so it's really cool to see our guys doing this. Haven't thought about that. I think our guys, again, we're just playing some better football down the stretch. We just got to keep building on that. We still got a couple more opportunities, and we just got to keep growing. Yeah, just awesome. Relentless. 2 sacks, around the ball a ton, making plays a ton. It's just a really special day.
Did you feel like you could have won the challenge, but you just really liked the fake punt instead, or how's that?
We talked about it. We felt like the fake punt felt pretty clean. Felt confident about that. It was discussed. We kind of talked through it. Yeah, it's good. We got to finish some drives. We got to score some more touchdowns in those situations. I thought teams-wise, Charlie did an excellent job. Again, kicking the football, made some big plays in special teams. That was going to be a really hard challenge for us. I mean, they're basically number one in the NFL in special teams, and with good reason. They're really, really talented there. And our defense was just relentless, And so I love the way all three phases were working together, and just continue to compete for 4 quarters.
Dan had a lot of his family here today, and Taysom too, right? Like, we don't know their future. This could be their last game in the Dome, hypothetically. Just for them to have those type of performances with that uncertainty, what did you make of that?
Those guys are the best. They've done this for a really long time in this league, and they are the ultimate lead by example guys. And for them, for the effort that they put into this season, the continuous work, all these young guys get to look up to guys like Cam, like Taysom, and the way they prepare, and it's really, really special. And so you even watch it on the field at the end of the day, these guys are playing really good football right now. And so, I'm really excited about those guys.
What did you make of Tyler elevating the offense without a lot of guys in the lineup today?
Yeah, really good job. Playing quarterback in this league, there's a lot of downs, there's a lot of opportunities, and for him to just handle that and stay steady through the whole process, I thought he did an excellent job today.
I'm sure you don't get to go into games like planning, numbers or whatever, but it was more than 50 dropbacks today. Was that kind of not a necessity?
Yeah, I think just the way the game was flowing. Certainly, you always would love to run the football a little bit more. I just felt like, from a pass game perspective, it was a little bit cleaner for us, a little more efficient. And again, that's credit to those guys. Tyler executing at a really high level. Yeah, those guys, we'll just see what happens. Brzee was a knee. We'll see tomorrow. Foster's with kind of the ankle on the hip drop thing. So he kind of got caught there, and so we'll see how that goes.
Anything else from Kevin? Just with Charlie, he was signaling one more. Just like to make it his day.
Yeah, Charlie's awesome. Charlie's awesome. He's playing really good football, and our team's rallying behind him, and so he's got a bright future.
Oh, for Taysom's touchdown, what was it that allowed Chris to get so over? Was it just like the threat of Taysom?
Yeah, I think threat Taysom running it. Obviously, we kind of went into it with the play with an ability for him to either run it or if the look presented itself to throw it. And so, we're trying to get a first down there and obviously turned into a touchdown.
You talked about how special that was for him to have, those milestones. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but how unique of a player is he in the NFL history?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this league talks about trying to get Taysom Hills on your football team. There's a role, and everyone's chasing it, and no one seems to be able to duplicate it. And so, because of his ability to play in every phase of an offense, contribute on special teams as well. The things that he can do from a capacity of having to handle all these different looks and structures and fundamentals that you got to play all these positions at. It's just really, really special. And he's an A+ person, A+ human being, A+ player. And so, I think all these young guys especially can learn a lot from him as they go through the rest of this year. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And this is the post-game show here on the State of the Saints podcast. The Saints winning their third game in a row, knocking off the New York Jets by a score of 29-6. And moving their record to 5-10. But before I get started, I just want to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. Hopefully everybody is full of joy and laughter. And I hope everybody's happy today. I mean, the New Orleans Saints getting a victory. And finally, it looked like they lifting the curse of the black helmet. I mean, I can't remember the last time they won a game in a black helmet. I mean, the Saints actually won a game in a black freaking helmet, man. So congratulations to the Saints exercising all type of demons. But look, this was a good game for the New Orleans Saints. No, the Jets aren't a good football team. I will admit that, but neither are the Saints. I mean, if we want to be honest, I mean, this, like the way that some Saints fans were looking at the Jets, that's how the Jets were looking at the Saints. But credit to the New Orleans Saints. They have been coming alive as of late. They've been playing some really good, solid football, and they're playing tough, man. And they're actually building something and a lot of momentum that they can bring over to next season. Now, you got about 2 more games left. This was the final home game of the season for the Saints. So 2 road games to finish off the year. You got the Tennessee Titans. You're going to Nashville, and then you're going to end the season going to Atlanta versus the Falcons. So the New Orleans Saints are trying to finish strong. And if they continue to play the way that they have and playing complementary football, they can indeed finish the season strong. Shouts out to everybody in the chat right now as you start to file in. Those that are watching, I ask that you hit the like button. No matter what platform you're watching this on, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already to get up-to-date information pertaining to the New Orleans Saints here on the State of the Saints podcast. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. This wasn't a game to me that was really exciting. It was a game where you just wanted to see the New Orleans Saints get out of there with a victory. The New York Jets, I mentioned, aren't a good football team. Brady Cook is not the future of the New York Jets. I think we all can see that. I mean, I believe he has 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions in the last 3 weeks. It just seemed like to me like he was lost. Didn't seem like he was really doing anything that was going to move the New Orleans Saints defense. And the Saints went out there defensively and did what they were supposed to do. Look, you do not apologize that you have an inexperienced quarterback on the opposite side. You go out there and you make things happen. The Saints had 8 sacks in the game. Shouts out to Cam Jordan, who had a lot of family members in attendance on this evening. The fact that, that happened, a lot of people were maybe putting a little stock into the fact that maybe this could possibly be Cam Jordan's final game inside of the Superdome. But if it was, I mean, what a way to end it, right? I mean, he has moved to 17th all time in sacks, passing New Orleans Saint great Ricky Jackson. So this brings Cam Jordan's sack total to 130. I think that he is a first ballot Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt, regardless if the New Orleans Saints make the Super Bowl without him. He ever steps foot on a Super Bowl surface playing. Cam Jordan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. Credit to a lot of these young players out here, players like Alante Taylor and Jonas Williams and, Chase Young. These guys were getting after the quarterback today, and they were making some noise. And also the secondary. Kool-Aid McKinstry had a couple good breakups. Yernis Sinker had the interception. Alante Taylor almost had a pick six. But, like I said, they were playing some really good football. And, the New Orleans Saints are on this 3-game winning streak, and you have some Saints fans out there that have their reservations about this winning streak, talking about his harming the draft pick, this, that, and the third. But I just think that people aren't looking at it the right way. Look, the New Orleans Saints are winning football games not because they got a quarterback out there that's not going to be their quarterback next year, not because they got defensive players that are not going to be on the team next year. They're winning a game because these guys that could be potential cornerstone players. If you're a Saints fan and you're talking about the Saints tanking for a top 3 pick, what player are you tanking for? Who do you think is going to come in and is going to give you that much production or mean that much to your football team than a quarterback? Tyler Shuck is showing you that he is the quarterback of the future. I mean, what more do you need to see? You're winning football games. You're looking more respectable as a football team because of the most important position on the field seems like it's trending in the right direction. So what does a draft pick have to do with anything at this point? Like, who are you taking for at this point? Tyler Shuck is clearly showing you all that he's the guy, but that don't seem like that's good enough for some of you for some apparent reason. Now, when the Saints were getting the doors blown off them each and every week and looking like straight up slaw, y'all were crying and whining inside of the chat and on Twitter and all kind of other social media platforms about the New Orleans Saints now looking good. Now, all of a sudden, in comes Tyler Shuck. He's looking like the freaking guy, and you still got a problem with that? I'm talking about some of you, not a lot of you, because at the end of the day, if you're a real true Saints fan, you just want to see this team getting better. And this is what we're actually seeing. The narrative about how high can the New Orleans Saints get a draft pick, I feel like that died when Tyler Shuck played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he showed you that he was the freaking guy. And then he followed it up last week versus the Carolina Panthers. Oh, it's just the lowly Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were fighting for the NFC South in today's game. Now, Carolina won that football game. And not to mention, if you look at some of the stats, you had guys like Tedoroa McMillan going off, Rico Dowdle going off. Those guys were nearly 9 factors in the game last week versus the Saints. It was like the Bryce Young show, and Bryce Young was just trying to make things happen. And you're sitting up here making it seem like it's just ho-hum. No, what you're actually seeing is a football team coming alive. I don't get what you all want. I thought the overall objective was for the Saints to get better. Right? I mean, notice that's the thing. It's about the team getting better. Like, I don't care about no draft picks at the end of the day. I don't care about draft picks at the end of the day. If you're the reason why the Saints are on a 3-game winning streak right now is because Tyler Shuck is elevating the offense. He's elevating players around him. And then on defense, you're seeing young players that are in their first and second year making plays. Like, man, miss me with that. I would take getting further and further back with draft positioning any day, because the young core players on my football team are getting better. Plain and simple. But the defense played well in this game. The offense, they were able to move the football a little bit. I do think that there were some plays that they wish that they could have back. I do think that Tyler Shuck was getting hit a little bit too much for my liking. I do think that although Chris Olave had 10 catches for 148 yards, he and Tyler Shuck still need to get on the same page. It seems like Tyler Shuck and Juwan Johnson are on the same page, but it just seemed like to me like they just need to get on the same page. I mean, when you look at Chris Olave, he was targeted 16 times in this game. He was targeted 16 times, but I would like to see a little bit more out of Chris Olave. I know that sounds crazy. 10 catches for 148 yards, but I just want to see some of those contested catches. There was one play that he made today. I'll give him credit. Like, he caught the ball, tried to get up the field, tried to fight for extra yards. That's something we don't normally see from Chris Olave, but he was out there trying to do his thing. But I just want to see the contested catches more often. I know he's capable of doing that. And I think that is the one thing that is separating Chris Olave from really emerging as that elite guy. Because he's a disciplined route runner. He has really good hands. He's talented, and he can find those soft spots. He's really good, man. But you got to be able to get yards after the catch, and you got to come down with those contested catches, man, if you want to be considered as one of the league's best. But he did go over 1,000 yards for the third time in his career. This was his second game in his NFL career, having multiple touchdowns in one game. So congratulations to Chris Olave, but I want to see that connection between Olave and Shuck grow, over time. I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints are going to extend Chris Olave, so they'll have plenty of time to do that. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments here. It says, we still need to fix our interior offensive line. You can do that in the first round still, or you can do it in some of those later rounds. This is a deep draft for offensive linemen. When I heard Louis Riddick talk about Shuck in the draft, I was in. Yeah, the people who want Mendoza are mad. Look, man, everybody want the new shiny toy. Everybody want to be the center of the universe. Oh, who are the Saints going to get with the number 1 pick? Look, I'm glad that the New Orleans Saints aren't picking first. I mean, that just shows you, like, despite the fact that the New Orleans Saints have not had the best season, they're not the worst team in football. They're not the worst team in football, and I can live with it. I don't care about no Fernando Mendoza when it comes down to, the Saints looking formidable. Like, if the Saints sucked and they end up landing Fernando Mendoza, I would be happy to see him on the Saints team. But the Saints are winning football games because it seemed like they got the quarterback of the future. Like, hope was lost, right? Everybody was concerned about the future. Everybody was concerned about the Saints. Now all of a sudden you have a quarterback that is growing right in front of your eyes, making plays right in front of your eyes. To me, probably step further and closer to being offensive rookie of the year in this game today. And yet we still sitting up here talking about draft positioning. Like, what are Saints fans thinking that they're going to draft that's going to be better or that's going to give you results, they're going to give you a chance to win a game more than a competent quarterback? Please tell me that. Please tell me. Like, if you're not going into the draft trying to look for a competent quarterback because you got a competent quarterback, well, guess what? You already got a good start. Shuck is playing well. He's playing extremely well, Linda. Says, nah, TJ, I don't entertain them Shuck the future. Yeah, man, look. All I'm saying is, man, look, I'm not saying you have to neglect the future or anything like that, but at the end of the day, it's like man, this dude is showing you everything that you want to see, as an onlook, as a fan. Like, he's showing you like you can build something around him. TJ, I've noticed it's the Rattler fans who want us to tank so they can have a reason to complain about Shuck. Yeah, man. Look, I don't know, man. Look, I'm a fan of Spencer Rattler too, but that ship is sailed. Like this guy conversation is over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's over. Finito, kaput. Like, what are we talking about? That's my question. What are we talking about? Like it, like I don't think that Spencer Rattler is terrible, but look, Tyler Shuck is clearly the quarterback of the future. So I mean, I don't look if you so hell bent on being right about Rattler that you're willing to allow or want your team to look like slaw just for you to feel right. I don't know what to tell you, man. You might need to I don't know. You need to maybe seek a little help or something like that, because there's nothing more that I love than to be wrong about a player. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. If I'm up here questioning a player's ability, his ability to be the starter, the ability to make plays, and I'm proven wrong, I don't have no problem with that. I don't take no pride in saying, okay, man, this guy leaves a lot to be desired. I want to be wrong, right? I mean, some people thought that Tyler Shuck wasn't the answer. People had a wait and see approach. And even the biggest, this is what I learned, even the biggest Tyler Shuck skeptics have become believers. Like, you can look at this dude and tell that the New Orleans Saints got something. Like he plays with so much poise. Like, he has everything that you want to see in a quarterback. If the Saints can fix this offensive line, this dude can be a dangerous quarterback. He can be extremely dangerous, man. I'm telling you. Like, this man is doing this. Like, think about this. Think about how trash. I got to call it for what it is. Think about how trash this offensive line has been over the last couple of years, with all due respect. I mean, it is what it is. It has not been good. And think about the quarterbacks that have been hurt, that haven't been able to make plays, that haven't been able to wheel and deal. This dude is out here with a below average offensive line, barely any running game to speak of, Chris Olave and a bunch of practice squad guys, and he's out there making plays and throwing for 300 yards. Can you imagine when the New Orleans Saints can get a Chris Olave, maybe Jalen Pope come in this thing, Trey Palmer, right? Getting yourself another rookie wide receiver out there, Devon Vele. Can you imagine what this offensive group can look like when he actually has some guys that can make contested catches, get yards after the catch? Maybe, you know what I'm saying, add another tight end that can be, a little bit of a bruiser and a red zone threat. Can you imagine what this offense can actually be if you actually can put together a competent offense? Like, people are like, oh, man, look, this man is doing a lot more with less than we have seen any quarterback that have been put and thrust in the same situation, and it's still not good enough for a lot of people. Like, Tyler Shuck is showing you in real time that he's worth the investment. So I don't know what else you want. All right, we have found our future quarterback. Get over it, dog. We all should be happy. We don't need a quarterback. Yeah, if your team is winning, that's just the entire overall objective. Like, you want the team to win. If they winning because the quarterback is playing well, like, why are you upset? This new kicker has a hell of a leg, definitely an upgrade. Yeah, Charlie Smith definitely has played well, even though, the New Orleans Saints didn't cash it in with touchdowns, drive after drive in this game. It was good to see Charlie Smith actually get some work in. Look, I look past that 61-yard kick. He has the leg to make that kick, but I mean, look, that's a hard kick for anybody, right? That's a hard kick for anybody. But he was able to allow the Saints to help the Saints pull away in this game, and the defense, I'm pretty sure they were excited. The fact that the offense was able to move the ball, and they was able to sustain some drives. It wasn't to a point where they were just defense out there playing and then they're getting 3 and outs. The offense was actually moving the football, at a methodical pace, and it gave the defense an opportunity to step up. and maybe take a little bit of rest, but they're playing complementary football. I'm a Rattler fan, but he had his shot. Shuck has outplayed him. Quarterback is no longer on the shopping list. Nope. Like I say, I like Spencer Rattler. I think that Spencer Rattler probably gonna end up being the future backup quarterback of the Saints. But this is Tyler Shuck's team, man. Rattler is a backup now. Hayner could go elsewhere. This defense is lit. That's excited to me. Me more. Yeah, excited me more. Yeah, because I mean, you're doing this right now with a classic 4-3 defense, 4-3 defensive guys, right? Imagine what the Saints can actually be when they start to get those little edge rushers, those hybrid guys that can stand up as well as playing coverage. Like, imagine what this defense can actually be when you actually have some guys out there that can be flying around the field and really making some noise and getting sacks on a consistent basis. I'm a fan of both players and whoever can contribute to our success. Look, I like both players. I told you at the beginning, I root for both guys. It ain't no team this, team that. Like, it's the Saints team to me. So when Tyler Shuck became the quarterback, that's who I was supporting. When Spencer Rattler was out there, I was supporting him. So there you go. Unless a team gives us a great draft pick, we should keep Rattler too. He's a decent backup. Yeah, I think that you should. Unless, like somebody, like you said, somebody give you a good draft pick for him. Like, let's just say if somebody want to give you a 4th or 5th round pick for him, I would take that. I'm loving Tyler proving me wrong every week. I'm loving it. Quarterback can change the spirit of the team. You clearly see with Tyler, they have bought in on him. Ain't nothing like, looking at a quarterback go out there and you can actually believe in this guy. I think last week versus Carolina, well, I think it was the game versus Tampa that really made them realize, man, they probably got something. But I think the game versus Carolina, I think that's when they really realized, man, this dude can be something special. And now Tyler Shuck is man, he's getting national attention now. He's getting national attention for the way that he's playing the quarterback position. Truth, I'm on that wagon proof 3 games. Saints and Pels got great young talent. Tyler is better than Rattler. I don't think so before the season, though. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that even the biggest supporter of Rattler have to admit that Tyler Shuck makes this offense look better than Spencer Rattler did. And that like I said, that's not a knock on Spencer Rattler. It's not just because the offense looks better with Shuck doesn't mean that Spencer Rattler is just god awful. That just you can have a quarterback that possesses a certain skill set and it can probably just be steady Eddie, right? And then you'll have a quarterback that can probably give you a little bit more. And this is what I feel like Tyler Shuck is giving the Saints. He's giving them a little bit more than what Spencer Rattler had. I think that Spencer Rattler can go to a team. Let's just say if he went to the 49ers or something like that. I think that he would have success with the 49ers. It's just the way that the team is structured. I think that you have quarterbacks that can win and elevate players around them. Maybe if a player is average or even below average, he can have them playing respectable. And that's what it seemed like Tyler Shuck is doing, man. He is throwing the ball and he's delivering the ball to guys that's open. He not just looking for Chris Olave. Even, there's a lot of plays that are targeted towards Chris Olave, but you're also seeing him go through his reads, checking the ball down. You like to see that from your young quarterback. Now, there's some things and some mistakes that he has made that I feel like he has to clean up, man. But at the end of the day, this team looks a lot better offensively when he's the quarterback. I didn't care for him at first, but he's definitely growing. I'm a Rattler supporter, but Tyler is that guy. He is winning games with the same scraps Rattler couldn't. Let's see. Why not start Rattler for the remainder of the season and let Tyler get ready for next season as quarterback? He's the franchise, right? Until someone named Joe Burrow comes in the building, yeah, keep it warm. Nah, man. Look, this man is the future of this franchise. The Saints are going into 2026 with Tyler Shuck in mind and building around the team. I I really don't get like why we even having a conversation like this guy isn't like worth building around. Like nobody had, like for the most part, nobody really had that much faith in Tyler Shuck going into the season. When he was elected the starting quarterback of the Saints, nobody like saw this coming. Like they probably thought like he'll probably play some solid football, but nobody saw this coming. I don't get why we're even having a conversation about getting somebody else. Like there's not a quarterback. I don't know if y'all saw this or not. There's not a quarterback that's coming out of this draft in 2026 that I would draft over Tyler Shuck. Like Fernando Mendoza, I've watched him play. I would not pick him over Tyler Shuck. Dante Moore, I would not pick him over Tyler Shuck. Not the way that he's playing right now. There's not a quarterback that I feel that the Saints could draft that will make the team look better than what Tyler Shuck has over these last couple of weeks. Like we want high profile. We want popping circumstance. And if that is what you are actually trying to build your case or your narrative on, then I just think that's ridiculous. Because nobody really knew about Tyler Shuck. Nobody was giving Tyler Shuck any props. Most people that you see in mainstream don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name. It's not good enough for me. I don't care if they can't pronounce his name or not. I don't care if he's flying under the radar or not. Is he making this team better? And even if you are the biggest skeptic, you have to agree that he is. You have to agree that he is. I don't even understand I do not understand what Saints fans want here. It's like, okay, you want the team to look bad? And now you're mad that the team doesn't look bad, but look at the reason why they're not looking bad. It's not because Cam Jordan getting 12 and 13 sacks. It's because Tyler Shuck is playing above expectations. What are we talking about here? Like, what more do we want? Like, talking about, like, letting Spencer Rattler play? Like, for what? Like, what do we need Spencer Rattler to play for when Tyler Shuck is clearly showing you he's the franchise quarterback? Most folks don't know football. They are just fans of a team. Shuck is the guy. Get the man some good protection and a few weapons and let him cook. Man, I'm happy we trending up. Let's not mention Rattler anymore. Look, man, I like Spencer Rattler a lot, but even having a conversation about what this team is, at the quarterback position, like it's laughable at this point. It's laughable. ESPN hype type players don't need them. Tyler is serviceable. He more than serviceable, man. Like Tyler Shuck looking like you put some weapons around him, man. He might be in somebody's conversation next year. Like he might go home with some awards. What the Shuck is going on in NOLA, that's the narrative around the league now. Keith Rattler, but he had his time. Hey, thank Groupie for being good enough to give Smith time to mature as a novice at kicker, NFL style field goals. The NFL International Player Program allowed him to work on his accuracy for 2 years. Yeah, Robert, I mean, that's a good point. And, look, I know people talking about Blake Groupie, which, I seen like the tweet, that Blake Groupie put out and what he said on don't let nobody say what you can't do. Like, I don't know if that was a shot at, the Saints organization or what, but I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Like that Blake Groupie said that. Like, that's funny because he has nobody to blame but himself. Like, nobody wanted to run him out of town. Fans didn't even want to run him out of town, to be honest with you. They was like, man, what's going on with him? And, okay, like, let's see, he can turn it around. And then all of a sudden, they gave him like 3 opportunities, but this man was like costing the Saints games. You can't get mad at that they decided to move on from you. And it's good. Okay, if you're going out there kicking field goals and making them and stuff like that, that's great. Like, I don't want to see Blake Groupie be out the NFL. But at the same time, don't make it seem like, oh, man, like they didn't want me to succeed. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, the Saints wanted to keep Blake Groupie around. I haven't seen a team practice that much patience for a kicker ever. It was like to a point like, are y'all keeping this dude on the team because he stinks? And, like y'all trying to tank games or something? Like, I was just wondering. Like, honestly, I was wondering. So he ain't got nobody to blame but himself. But at the end of the day, man, Charlie Smith is kicking well. So hopefully he can keep that up. I think Tyler Shuck has the potential to be at least a top 15 quarterback. I mean, you look around the National Football League right now, not too many top-tier quarterbacks out there. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. I know his foot hurt after today. Yeah. Did you see the recent interview when Shuck told Mina Kimes he models his game after Stafford? Yeah, I seen that, man. But I don't see Matthew Stafford when I see him, though. But yeah, I mean, that's good that, he looks at Matthew Stafford as a guy that he can look up to. Say ESPN, but Louis Riddick spoke highly of Tyler Shuck, so y'all can't smear his name. What position you think we need to draft in the upcoming draft in the first and second round? I'm going to tell you right now, in the first round, I think the New Orleans Saints need to go after Jeremiah Love. Like, it's the further they get back, the more I feel like if Jeremiah Love is available to them, they need to get him, because the Saints need help in a running game. They need somebody that Tyler Shuck can check the ball down to, and that guy can get like 10 or 15 yards on his own skill and will. Like, if you can get yourself somebody like a Bijan Robinson, like, I know he plays for the Falcons, but you got to admit this dude is an incredibly talented running back. They throw him the football, he can turn like a negative 1 yard play into an 11-yard run. And that's what the New Orleans Saints need. That is what they need right now. And, just looking at the tankathon as of right now, the New Orleans Saints were 7. Now they moved down to number 8. Now they got the 8 pick in the draft. So to me, in the first round, I'm going after Jeremiah Love. With the 8 pick, I'm going with Jeremiah Love. In the second round, I would probably go after a top like pass rush, or a guy that can probably be a really good wide receiver for my team. Like who gonna be there? Concepcion or something like that. A guy out of Texas A&M, like somebody like that. But other than that, man, like, okay, you out of the sweepstakes again. We don't even need to talk about Fernando Mendoza not happening, or Dante Moore not happening, or Orville Reese not happening. So you looking at like maybe like a Jeremiah Love or something like that. Like that's what I'm looking at. Or, I'm looking at somebody like a Reuben Bain Jr. Maybe you can actually land him or something. But if you can get Jeremiah Love, man, that's who I'm looking at. That's who I'm looking at. That's somebody that can be a game changer. The Saints cannot run the football effectively. It'll be good to see like a running back like run through the hole, make somebody miss, maybe drag a couple guys with them. You can actually get back to the screen game. Somebody that if you keep Alvin Kamara on the team, that can be a good complimentary guy, or even the fact that he can possibly be starting over Alvin Kamara, and those two can actually share the backfield. So look, the further the Saints start to get down in the draft, the more I would like to see them draft Jeremiah Love. Love would be a monster on this team. You have to wonder why Moore kept throwing the ball after Shuck was injured and limping instead of running the clock. Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. And I tweeted that too. I said the Saints are allowing Tyler Shuck to take unnecessary punishment. I didn't understand that. Like, they weren't coming back. Like, man, the Jets weren't coming back in that game. And I just think that the Saints just needed to run the football. The Jets exhausted their timeouts, and yet you're still trying to throw the football and trying to win 50-50 matchups with Chris Olave, and Will McDonald kept getting around that corner. And even though he wasn't getting sacks, he kept hitting Tyler Shuck. So I just didn't understand that, man. I didn't understand why they kept on allowing Tyler Shuck to take unnecessary punishment. One mock draft have us drafting Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU, with our first round pick. Yeah, I mean, I saw that too. I wouldn't be objective to that draft pick either. I think Mansour is a talented guy. Of course, you know, he transferred from Virginia Tech to LSU and probably the top cornerback in the draft. Depends on who you talk to. But yeah, I can see that happening. We need a starting caliber guard because we have backup guards starting right now. Yeah, man. I mean, look, you definitely need some guards. You definitely need some guards. You know, and that's something that just goes without question. So I don't know how the Saints are going to address this. Are they going to try to get some veteran guys they can probably throw a little money at? Or are they going to try to draft some guys? But let's see. Offensive line, NFL draft. Let's see, NFL draft guys. Let's see what we have on the offensive line. I mean, we already know about Magor, Fano, Spencer Fano. We know about Proctor out of Alabama. I mean, these are some of the top guys right now, right? Yeah, man. As far as I'm concerned, you can probably still get a guy like in a first or the second round. Like even if the Saints don't draft a offensive lineman in the first round, you can get a really good, talented guy in the second or the third round, man. So I just think that the Saints definitely need to work on the interior, you know, need to work on, you know, maybe grabbing one of these guys, you know, like a dunker out of Iowa. You know, he's a guy that can play both, you know, tackle and inside. And, you know, and other guys that they have, you know, like you could probably get, you know, maybe in the third round or something. But look, if the Saints have to get themselves like a wide receiver or a edge rusher or something like that, like there's nothing wrong with it. But if they was to draft an offensive lineman in the first round, I know it would make Saints fans frustrated. But look, you have to go after what you need. You have to go after what you need, man. TJ, second pick, I'm going the best D tackle or the best defensive end available. Look, man, I like Anthony Smith out of Minnesota. Like Anthony Smith is a guy that has a high motor. He's a guy I've been watching over the last week, and he's just a smart football player, man. He has like really good instincts, double-digit sack guy. I mean, just knows how to get to the quarterback, man. You know, that it just knows how to get to the quarterback. So if you know, and there's another guy that didn't play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I was proud to be able to cover the Myrtle Beach Bowl out here in Myrtle Beach, Western Michigan. They took on Kennesaw State, and there's a guy for Western Michigan. I don't know too many people really pay that much attention to him, but his name is Nadane Tucker. He didn't play in the game, but he has 14 and a half sacks, and it was actually a coach's decision as to why he didn't play. He's a guy that's going to be at the Senior Bowl, and he's somebody that is going to fly up the depth charts. Like he's probably going to be like a second or third round pick, but he is a guy that has a high motor. He kind of fits that build of that 3-4 defense. So, man, be on the lookout for a guy named Dane Tucker. He's a guy that I feel like could be there for the New Orleans Saints in those second or those third rounds, and he kind of fits that new mode of what Brandon Staley is trying to do. The offensive tackle from Ohio State will be there in the second round. Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be – I'm telling you, this is a deep draft. This is a deep draft for offensive linemen, a very, very deep draft. So, like I said, you can get yourself an offensive lineman late that can be an impactful guy. TJ, people forgot we traded for Jalen Pope. Yeah, I mean, but, you know, a lot of people don't know what Jalen Pope can bring to the table. I think that he's talented. And I think that you'll probably see him make some noise, you know, for the New Orleans Saints, you know, next season. But I still think the Saints need another wide receiver. We need a big play wide receiver more than we need a running back. I don't know about that, man. The Saints need somebody that's going to run the football consistently. Like you need somebody that's going to be able to complement it. It says, we need a guard and a center because our center can't stay healthy. Pick whoever after that. Yeah, look, I just think that you just need a running back, man. Like they need somebody that's going to alleviate some of the pressure off of Tyler Shuck that can go out there, that can make things happen. He hands the ball off to him. He can go yard. He can get 10, 15 yards. He can catch out of the backfield. That is what the New Orleans Saints need. I just think that would be a good that would be something that would be a good alternative for Tyler Shuck for them to get a running back, a guy that can that can do some of the things Jeremiah Love can do. I think the Saints are in a position where I feel like you need yourself a wide receiver, but to me, it's not as important as you drafting a running back right now. Unless you about to, like I said, unless you about to go out here and just get, an absolutely like unstoppable wide receiver. I don't look at any other player more important than drafting Jeremiah Love. In the second round, they have us drafting Dennis Sutton, the defensive end out of Penn State. It's not a bad pick. But I just think that the New Orleans Saints need to go after a player that's going to be an impactful guy. Rather it be a cornerback, rather it be an offensive lineman. It has to be something where, that guy's going to be an immediate starter. I agree. Devin Neal is solid, but he doesn't feel like a pure running back one. Could be interesting to see him split reps next season. Yeah, I mean, he's a change of pace back. He's not an every down back, but he definitely is a guy that you can like line up back there and be a complimentary guy. Like he can be Zach Charbonnet, right? To Kenneth Walker, right? He can be that guy. But I just think the Saints need somebody that can be a difference maker at the running back position. I like Olave, but he's soft when it comes to contested catches. Yeah, that's the thing that I feel like that separates Chris Olave from really reaching that upper echelon of wide receivers. That's what I feel like, that stops him from reaching that full potential. But let's go ahead and take a look at. Let me go ahead and pull up these stats here. Pull up the stats for the game. Like I said, it was a game, man. It wasn't the most exciting game in the world. Started to like get a little bit better towards the end as the Saints started to kind of separate themselves from the Jets. But Tyler Shuck was 32 of 49, 308 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times, quarterback rating of 89. You got Taysom Hill threw the ball 1 time. That was that 38-yard touchdown he threw to Chris Olave late in the game. Taysom Hill also had 12 carries for 42 yards. Estime had 5 carries for 19 yards. Mason Tipton, 1 carry for 12 yards. And Tyler Shuck, 2 carries for 8 yards. Evan Hall had 5 carries for 3. The wide receiver group, or the receivers, you had Chris Olave, 18 catches for 148 yards, targeted 16 times. Juwan Johnson, 8 catches, targeted 9 times for 89 yards. Taysom Hill, 4 catches for 36 yards. He was targeted 6 times. Mason Tipton, 4 catches for 29 yards, targeted 5 times. Kevin Austin, 2 catches for 18 yards. He was targeted 3 times. Estimate 3 catches for 17 yards on 4 targets. You have Foster Monroe and Jack Stoll. They had 1 catch. Monroe had 5. Stoll had 4. Foster Monroe looked like he left the game. I don't know if that was a hip tackle or not. Hope that he's okay. But that was a good performance by the pass catchers. I think that Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave did a really good job in the game. Defensively, I mean, they had 8 sacks, but Justin Reed led the team in tackles with 9. Demario Davis with 8. Alante Taylor with 7. Yernis Sinker with 6. He also had an interception in the game. Alante Taylor had a sack. Kool-Aid McKinstry with 5. Danny Stutzman with 5. Cam Jordan with 4 tackles and 2 sacks. John Ridgway with 4 tackles. Nate Shepard with 3 tackles and a sack. Chris Rumpf with 3 tackles and a sack. Carl Granderson with 3 tackles. Devon Godshaw with 2. Chase Young with 2 tackles and a sack. Pete Warner with 2 tackles. Quincy Riley with 2 tackles. Jalen Ford with 2. Jonah Williams with 1 tackle, 1 sack. Isaiah Stallberg, 1 tackle, 1 sack. Terrell Burgess, 1 tackle. Jonathan Buller with 1. And Brian Brzee with 1. Those are your stats for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm just excited that the New Orleans Saints are on a 3-game winning streak, and we're seeing the New Orleans Saints just get better, and each and every week. Taking a look at some of the team stats, man. When you look at the New Orleans Saints, they controlled the time of possession just by a tad bit, 31 minutes and 18 seconds to the Jets, 28-42. 2 turnovers for the Jets, 1 for the New Orleans Saints. It came early in the game when Taysom Hill fumbled. Third down efficiency, the Saints were 8 of 17 on third down. Jets 2 of 15. Saints were 1 of 2 on 4th down. The Jets were 2 of 4. Total plays, the Saints had 78 to the Jets 63. Total yards, the Saints had 412 to the Jets 195. Total drives, both teams had 11. Yards per play, the Saints 5.3, the Jets 3.1. 328 passing yards for the Saints to the Jets 131. Rushing, not neither team really knock your socks off. 84 rushing yards for the Saints, 64 for the Jets. So penalties in the game, the Saints had 3 penalties for 30 yards, not bad, and the Jets had 7 penalties for 54 yards. So those are your stats, man. I mean, the Saints played some pretty decent football today, played some pretty disciplined football. Still some things that they need to clean up. I feel like the offensive line, they didn't have their best game. I don't think people are going to be paying that much attention to it because the Saints actually won. But look, if I feel like if the New Orleans Saints played a little bit more of stiffer competition, I think this game would have been a little bit more worrisome for me. But the fact that they were actually playing against the Jets, it actually helped the New Orleans Saints cause in this game. Breece Hall should be a free agent. Yeah, I mean, Breece Hall is not it wouldn't be a bad addition to the Saints either. Like if he was to be on a free agent market or something like that, that wouldn't be a bad pickup. Breece Hall is good. The defense have turned the corner. Yeah, I mean they've been coming after the quarterback. So I can only imagine what this defense can actually look like once they start to really get some 3-4 players, like some edge rushers, some guys that can drop back in coverage, guys that can pin their ears back, go after the quarterback, and be getting 2 and 3 sacks a game. I'm talking about one individual. Just be thankful, please, TJ. We won. Who that, man? I'm definitely thankful. I'm definitely thankful the Saints won. Look, I'm excited that the team is trending in the right direction. I'm not concerned about tanking or anything like that. But we also have to put this thing into perspective too, man. They're like, I know people don't like to hear issues and problems when a team wins, but there are things that you have to make sure that you have to neutralize, or it could get you beat if you go up against a better situation. But to me, I just think that this offensive line, they gonna have to clean the act up. But you had a lot of guys on the offensive line that were injured. TJ, anything on the Titans to look for next week? They're a scrappy team. Like they're not going to just sit up here and lay down for the New Orleans Saints. They're just not going to do that. Like they try to fight and scratch and claw every single game. I just think that they're not as talented, as their counterparts right now. But they're not going to lay down for the Saints. And if the Saints go out there and play around with them, they will lose. I mean, today they actually beat the Kansas City Chiefs 26-9. So Cam Ward had 228 yards. He was 21 of 28. So Tony Pollard had 21 carries for 102 yards. You had Tajay Spears, 13 carries for 52. So if you go out there and be playing around with the Tennessee Titans, man, trust and believe there's a possibility you can end up getting beat. So I hope the New Orleans Saints go out there and understand, man, just because that team only has 3 wins, they're not going to play like it. They missing a 3-4 nose tackle too. I agree. Man, I'm happy we went in, TJ. We got our franchise quarterback. Yeah, I think everybody just excited about that. Titans kicked ass against the Chiefs without Mahomes. Shuck might be the next Drew. I don't know if he's the next Drew Brees or not, but if he can go out there and continue to play well, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. I want to say once again, I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. If this is the last video that you check out before the Christmas holiday, if you're traveling, going out of town, visiting family and friends, be careful out there on the road. Thank you all so much for making the State of the Saints podcast so great to do. Despite the Saints record this season, despite the hardships, you all make this show exciting to do, and I look forward to doing it each and every week. Make sure that you check out the State of the Saints podcast and subscribe so you can get the up-to-date content. If this is your first time stumbling across this show, hopefully we didn't bore you to death, and you are going to come back for some more, man. And I also want to give a special shout out to all the people, man, all the love that you all have been showing to my little man Paxton, man. He's, for some of you that may not know, Paxton has been, excited about doing a little podcasting of his own. So, decided to kind of, allow him to do a little bit of a scoreboard, man. And he's been doing this on the show for the last couple of episodes, and I'm extremely proud of him, man, because he likes doing it. And like I said, I can think of worse things in the world than a boy wants to do what his dad does too. So pretty cool stuff, man. So thank y'all for supporting my little man and supporting what he's actually doing and encouraging him as well. You got previous episodes available here on YouTube. You can follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8, and also the NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Till next time, all I gotta say is
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that?